Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome to Thief: Deadly Shadows. I'm gonna go in and out of the options menu here, so you can really get the full force of how this intros when you launch it. Yeah, look at that. Welcome to Thief: Deadly Shadows.
That's amazing.
Watch the Mode 7 that logo in there. This is the third game in the Thief franchise, the final game in our playthrough of the franchise, because of course, as we all know, there were never any more Thief games.
This is the best one, right?
Well, I mean, remains to be seen. So a little bit of background before we get into this, in the interest of sort of like, this whole like historical project we're doing. Oh, apparently stuff's gonna happen. The game has an attract mode. I'm just gonna let this play while I talk. Um, so Thief and Thief 2 were made by the same company, the same group of people, right? Ooh, hold on. There's like a whole cinematic here. Maybe we'll watch this first. This did not play when I launched the game. Remember all this stuff from previous thiefings? Do you remember this rad music?
I remember there being music. Rad's a word you could use for that, sure.
This is the first post-Matrix Thief game.
Okay.
Which I feel like has an impact. I will have you note that Garrett is fully blackjacking people and taking their shit in the intro.
Yeah.
Not avoiding all the guards.
Okay. He's not killing anyone yet, though.
I mean, we don't know that. We don't know what the end result of that blackjacking is. Medical care in this city cannot be good. Okay, so Thief 1 and Thief 2 were created by the same group of people, the same pretty small group of people over at Looking Glass, right?
Yes.
Thief 2, I believe, was the last game that came out of Looking Glass before they went bankrupt. It launched like just a couple of months before they finally hit the bottom, because it turns out that making these kinds of games is maybe not the greatest business strategy. History has and will continue to show. I don't know why, but it seems pretty consistent. So the Thief IP ended up getting snatched up by Eidos, the publisher, Eidos, and then Ion Storm, Warren Spector's Ion Storm was contracted. I mean, Warren Spector's, John Romero's Ion Storm, the studio that brought us Deus Ex, got contracted to produce this thing. And they started by hiring 4 of the sort of the key team members who had worked on it when it was beginning production at Looking Glass, before Looking Glass went under. So there is some continuity of people behind the scenes here, but the change in companies was also accompanied by a full change in technology. They had been developing a new engine in-house at Looking Glass for Thief 3. That engine got completely abandoned. This game runs on Unreal, I think Unreal 2.
Okay.
So any technical work that they had done on the Thief 3 project at Looking Glass is gone. So they worked.
Sweetheart.
Yes.
What's Unreal?
It's an engine. It's a game engine. A game design
engine.
Okay. So any technical work that they had done was thrown out, but we at least have, continuity of ideas to some extent. They were not able to reunite the whole team. And a big part of the reason that they did switch engines is that Ion Storm was not able to get the people who were developing that engine at Looking Glass.
Gotcha.
So they didn't want to try to use this like partially developed thing without the people who knew it best from the inside. This really does not want to sit very long.
No.
I get it. We all want to see gameplay. We're getting there. It is, I suppose, worth noting as a final note here, Thief Deadly Shadows is the last game that would be published by Ion Storm before Ion Storm 2 succumbed to financial woes because making these kind of games, it just I don't know what the deal is. Something about it just kills companies dead. What if you made a game that was like super popular with its audience, critically acclaimed, everybody seems to like it, and it's like landmark, has huge impacts on games, not just in its genre and related genres, but game design as a whole? You would expect that would destroy your company, right? Seems to be very consistent. So, without any further ado, that was a lot of ado, and I apologize, but I think it's important to get the sort of context right here. Let's have a look at this thing, Thief Deadly Shadows, so named because they didn't want to call it Thief 3 because they were scared the people who hadn't played the first two games wouldn't buy it, because it turns out that the audience of people who played the first two games is not sufficient to sustain a studio. It's an interesting gambit that did not work out.
Yeah.
Let's see what's up.
I got a tip last night from my fence. Heartless Perry. A nobleman named Lord Julian had some sort of quarrel and showed up at a local inn well after nightfall and in a foul mood. He's carrying a velvet bag about the size of a man's fist, and it never leaves his sight. Sounds likely to be valuable, but I'll know for sure when I steal it from him. Perry sent over a floor plan of the place, the Blue Heron Inn. Finding his lordship won't be hard. His room number will be in the guest register, if I can get to the front desk to read it. The inn will have guards, but not as many as a private estate. That should make things easy, which is one of the reasons I'm willing to try it without knowing for sure what the take will be. Lord Julian is so protective of that bag. There's got to be something of value in it.
Okay, so we're just like hitting the ground running here. I
Okay.
should say, I did install one mod to increase the resolution here, just to make it a little bit easier to actually like run the game on my monitor and also record it. There are a lot of very popular mods for this game that actually change things about the gameplay. I intentionally did not enable any of those functions. We should be playing pretty much the base experience, just at a resolution that modern monitors like a little bit better.
Okay, so I'm going to say Heartless Perry is a very good name.
Okay.
Secondly, I do like that we're just going right into it without like a bunch of preamble, but I do kind of miss the mission briefings being that kind of goofy mixed media stuff.
Yeah. I definitely disagree with you about the lack of preamble. I would like, Garrett was joining the keepers and stuff at the end of the last. I would like a little bit more of information about what's going on. Also, I can't select any non-normal difficulties, so I guess we're playing on normal.
Oh, why?
Weird, right? You would think that you'd be able to click on these buttons, but they don't click.
Do you think you have to beat the game in normal before let's do it at a harder difficulty?
I can't imagine. I think there's probably a technical issue here, but also I think it's, the first mission and who cares. And I'll figure out what it is between sessions.
Okay.
All right. Gear. We got some water arrows. We got 10 water arrows. We got a blackjack. We got a dagger, not a cool magic sword. And we have zero G's. That's Garrett. That's what Garrett looks like. That's a Garrett for you.
Okay.
I guess let's do it. Oh, and a little hiccup here. Okay. There we go. All right, welcome to the training mission. Throughout the rest of the game, you will make your own choices and take your own path. In this mission, however, you'll be given instructions at every step. To get started, follow the footprints on the ground to the first training experience. Amabel, do you have
I don't have
vision
any
of this.
video or audio.
Let me try to fix that. It did what it did was it closed the executable and launched a different executable for the mission.
Huh. Okay,
does
I
that-
got a watch stream button now. Okay,
Did
there
that
we
work?
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
We might have to do a little bit of stuff behind the curtain here. Okay. OBS managed to pick it up, which I appreciate. Oh, there is an always visible compass now. That's interesting. Ooh, the movement is bad. It feels not good to me. To be a thief, you must learn to use stealth. When you hide in shadows, guards will not be able to see you unless they are very close. The light gem at the bottom of the screen will tell you how visible you are. Classic. Crouching, moving slowly, and hiding behind objects can also be helpful. Okay. Stay in the darkness, sneak past the guard. So the light gem is in the middle of the compass in this game. Training successful. I did such a good job training. I'm going to step into this light on purpose just to see it light up. Okay, so that's what it looks like at full illumination. Yeah, this is weird. This feels very weird coming off of the other games. Some guards will be on patrol looking for intruders. You must learn to observe your enemies and use careful timing to slip by while their backs are turned. Sneak past this patrolling guard without getting caught. Okay.
I mean, so the first game felt weird, awkward, clumsy, and the second game felt like, a bit more fluid about it.
Yeah. There's a real stiffness to that first game. Is what I would say is like the main thing about it. Go on, turn around, walk back. I am immediately noticing that control, the button I would expect to be crouch is not crouch. So that's a thing I might try to fix in a moment here. All right, we can shelter right here until he turns back around.
Yeah, they really are trying to treat this like a separate game. Not having the three, not picking up where the story left off, having this tutorial.
I believe it is in continuity, though.
Okay.
The sounds you make can alert guards. You must learn to move quietly. Your footsteps are louder when you run and when you cross over loud floor surfaces. Walk slowly and quietly over this metal surface without alerting the nearby guard. Okay, so what used to be crouch is now walk slow. Can I maybe... Oh boy, we don't have a keybinds option. All right, I'll deal with it. Okay. Was that slower? It didn't feel slower. It was quiet. All missions have objectives, even this training mission. Your first objective is to break into the inn, which you can do by going through the delivery hatch. Press X to crouch. Very normal. Oh, and it's a toggle, I think. No, in fact, it simply does not work. I found a button to switch to third person mode. Hey, check out my cool eye.
Okay.
Okay, so the good news is some of the buttons definitely work. The bad news is everything else. Also, I seem to be in this sort of like what I would describe as sort of a falling stance maybe here. This sort of action pose that I'm wondering if it is why things are broken. Yeah, I will note I cannot jump. I'm just pressing all the buttons on the keyboard at this point. Yeah, so we're having some major control issues here. I'm gonna try something.
I got a tip last night from my fence.
Yep, we hear you. I heard you. It's fine. We got it. Hold on, it'll relaunch and then we'll.
That's why would a mission be a different executable?
There are technical reasons that might be a thing. We really wanted to get you the sort of the purest version of the experience, viewers at home. So that's why this is like this. We will smooth out some things if we can between episodes. Okay, OBS for some reason is not picking up the video now. This is a nightmare. There it goes. All right, so looking down, notice I am not I'm not frozen in that pose.
Mm-hmm.
I can successfully crouch.
Okay.
I don't know what happened or what it is that broke it before, but we're good now. I'm just gonna be obedient.
Do you think it's because you were in the shadows? The deadly shadows?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. All right, so this guy actually, he kind of just like points his face at this wall for a really long time. I'm just gonna go now. All right, our training has been incredibly successful. So this time, there you go. Now I'm actually creeping. Okay, yep, and there is also a crouch creep. Even slower. I appreciate a lot of proper vintage sound effects, the actual thief sound effects.
Yeah.
You can use some objects by positioning them in the center of your screen. When they highlight, press R mouse to use them. You know, I don't know when mouse 1 and mouse 2 became the sort of like the accepted nomenclature for the mouse buttons. I guess it does feel like it was fairly recent, doesn't it?
Which one is one and which one is two?
One is the primary mouse button, and two is the other one.
Is it the left one or the right one?
Well, on your mouse, it's probably the left one, but you know, some people use mice that are configured differently.
Okay.
That's why mouse 1 and mouse 2 is a good nomenclature. For example, what if you're a left-handed individual and like very not ambidextrous? Okay, use your bow and water arrows to extinguish that torch on the wall. When guards are nearby, putting out torches creates darkness you can sneak through. First, select the water arrow by pressing 8. Why wouldn't that be how you do that? All right. So part of what they got in the engine changeover, oh boy, the mouse sensitivity is wild. It is so high. Part of what they got in the engine changeover is Unreal has dynamic sound and light technology that the version of the older games engine really didn't. And I can't speak to whether the engine they were developing for Thief 3 would have or not. I assume that's part of why they were building a new engine, was so that they could do more stuff with that. To climb on top of obstacles, get close to them and press space. Okay, so we still have Garrett's famed agility. Not sure why it says nothing in the bottom left corner of the screen. Oh, interesting. Shift and control just do the same thing. I definitely would like to rebind that. Hello, rats. These rats are huge. A locked door is no obstacle for a skilled thief. Use this door with R mouse to enter lockpicking mode. So I believe this version of the game has like actual mechanics for the lockpicking.
Okay.
Use the mouse to pick the lock. You must find the sweet spot in each stage to make progress. Note movement on the visual lock indicator to gauge the location of the sweet spot. You are in the sweet spot when the movement is the strongest. When you find it, stay in it long enough and you will complete the stage. Okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to... You were right in my way. Okay.
I'm not used to the lock being in the center of the door.
That is a little strange. This is supposed to be a double door. It's somewhere around here. Thank you. I'm working on it. Find the sweet spot. Note movement on the thing to gauge you're in the sweet spot when the movement is the strongest. Yeah, like it's moving. Yeah, it's moving when I'm like here. Okay. We got one ring. There we go. That'll be the second one. And this is an interesting system. It definitely does seem like once you know a lock, you could pick it a lot more quickly than a lock you don't know. Like there definitely does. It feels like the different locks are going to have like sort of individual personality, and that is cool and good. Nope, it's set up like a double door. It's got a visual split down the middle, but it just doesn't. You're right, Amabel. The lock is in the wrong place. The game is wrong about that lock.
Yeah, 'cause that's literally not how a lock works with it.
Okay, one thing I will say, Garrett just climbed right up that ladder without me having to fight with it or hurl myself at the ladder at high speeds, so that's nice at least.
Yeah.
Alright, one hit from the blackjack can take an opponent down silently. Strike from behind when your opponent is not aware of your presence. Select your blackjack by pressing... It's probably supposed to be a 1?
Looks like 1 to me.
Hey, you know what's rad? Serifs. Okay, it is in fact 1. Note, Garrett's blackjack is a very different tool in this game.
Hey!
Okay.
I'm sorry, I knocked all that man's bones right out of him. If you leave bodies around, they might get noticed. R mouse to pick a body up. Okay. Ooh, there's a leaning down to grab the body animation. You can... Carrot. There we go. So, ragdoll technology was invented in the time between the last game and this one.
Yeah.
Second objective is to locate Lord Julian. Hey, let's check out that guest registry like we were told to. The Peony Suite. Do we know anybody else on here? These names are not familiar, I think.
No.
Lord Julian.
I hope
I
once...
think he was just Julian.
Cat. I am not allowed to pet the cat. I'm not going to left click.
Thank you.
But getting close to the cat does cause the cat to make noise. So a cat could ruin your sneakings. Alright, it's always a good idea to check the map when you're trying to get somewhere. I agree with that. This is a map, is it? Okay. Okay, so this is the front cellar delivery hatch, the front desk. I can't... How do these spaces relate? How does this picture relate to the physical spaces that we have been in? I don't think that map is super clear. An observant thief keeps an eye out for valuable objects, such as this goblet. Love a goblet. Okay. So loot 51%. I'm assuming that second number is like a running tally of how much of the level's loot you've picked up.
Okay.
Ooh, you can press up against walls to decrease visibility in the light gem and fit into narrow shadows. To enter wall flattening mode, stand very close to a wall and press R for flattening. It's weird that they have us do this right here, like the most in front of the lamp.
Yeah.
It's fine. It doesn't matter where we do it really, but it seems strange. Oh. That's the door to Lord Julian's room, but the guard is in your way. You can distract him by using a noisemaker arrow. Okay. So use 7 to select the noisemaker arrow, which suggests that the game considers this to be a more normative tool than the water arrow. Very concerning.
Hey.
That does work about as well as they did in the last game.
Well, I wasn't sure I really heard anything anyway. I really have no idea what that sound could be.
Go. Okay. Sometimes things don't work out as expected. Lord Julian isn't here in his room, and neither is the velvet bag you're trying to steal. Find a clue which tells you where he has gone, and your objectives will update with his new location. Very classic thief stuff. My friend and honored Lord Julian. I like this, like, they've modeled a piece of 3D paper and then done deformations on it to make it look like aged and weathered.
Yeah, that's neat.
But it leads to the text kind of folding in weird ways. I'll meet you in the Lancaster room tonight. I trust you will be mindful of the risks involved and be generous. Morris, the cook.
His lordship has gone for a walk. Can't have gone far.
Not everything you pick up will be useful or valuable, damn it. The item you just picked up can only be dropped or thrown. Alright. I was looking for more loot, you know? Okay, so new objective. Find him in the Lancaster room, steal his velvet bag, leave the inn once you have it. Okay. And it keeps track of some notes for us, which is cool. We have new creepy art. 37% doesn't seem... Maybe that's not reporting what I thought it was. Okay.
Just how much is remaining?
Well, after we picked up the first thing, it said 1%, so it seems unlikely. We do have a lean. We still have a lean move. Lord Julian is here, sitting near the fire, talking to someone. His purse is right next to him. Sneak up and steal it without being seen or heard. When you've got the purse, proceed into the kitchen. Stick to the shadows, walk silently, and move while your opponent's backs are turned. Keep an eye on your light gem, etc. Okay. Let's definitely get into crouch mode here. And then approach with maximum care.
5 picked men. My lord. 5 picked men with me, and we cut our way through.
He's your cousin, my lord.
I won the bet. My shaft was closer by a thumb's width. The bloodline opal should rightfully be mine.
If I may, my lord, I can help you. I know the castle.
Well, you're a cook. What could you know?
Every evening after sunset, the supply wagon comes through that gate and into the courtyard, and no one looks twice. Arrange for your men to be inside one evening.
And then we cut our way through. 5 good men against 20, and my accursed cousin.
My lord, listen. There is a passage leading into the castle from the courtyard. I can open it for you when you give me the signal. The torch in the Lion's Head sconce. You must put it out.
The Lion's Head torch. Yes. And when I reach the vault and hold the bloodline opal, I will take my place as head of the family. The Lady Elizabeth will be waiting. Even now she'll be flattering him, giving me time to return.
Only the medallion is the only key, my lord. You must keep hold of it.
You forget Lord Ember has another. I hear he guards it with his life.
My lord, I wish only for peace in the household.
The opal is mine.
Just gonna
I won
help
that
myself to any objects around here that look useful. Okay. Well, that's all interesting world building, and it feels like a very standard thiefly conversation.
Yeah.
Alright, sometimes even a careful thief gets caught. You can always fight if it comes to that, but it's usually safer to make a getaway. Try tossing a flash bomb and escaping while your opponents are blinded. Use F1 to select the flash bomb, and... Is that I to throw it? What?
Not one.
The fuck? Oh no, it's some guy. It was indeed I to throw it.
Where is everything?
Okay, proceed to the exit. When all your objectives are checked off, you'll have finished the mission.
But I've still got the goods.
Yes, I'm cool
Nothing
with
like
that.
mixing in society, especially if it comes with good loot. The velvet bag turned out to hold a bronze medallion stamped with a griffin. Valuable enough, but more interesting was the conversation I overheard between Lord Julian and the cook. Especially the part about a huge opal and a conspiracy for stealing it. I'd hate to have anyone but me get a stone like that. But I need a better idea where to start looking. If I show the medallion to my fence, I'm sure he'll know more. Heartless Perry always does.
Okay. Got 100 out of the 200 loot. And it seems like, oh, they're going to keep track of our total game stats. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing has really changed here, except our inventory has been updated with the things they gave us in the tutorial. Does that mean we're going to have actual continuity of gear from one mission to another? Because I kind of like that.
Well, that'd be neat, yeah.
This is very dramatic.
Not usually how ink works.
There is something terribly wrong with either that paper or that ink.
I had my fence take a look at Lord Julian's medallion. Perry says the crest belongs to the Rutherfords, one of the oldest so-called great families, with a castle in South Quarter and a street named after them. They've got a lot of wealth and a nasty reputation for turning on each other. Based on that conversation I overheard, Julian is definitely carrying on the family tradition. Lord Ember, Julian's cousin, currently resides in the castle, and Julian wants revenge. Julian had a good plan. Hide inside a supply cart and ride in after dark, then signal the cook to open the side door by putting out the lion's head torch in the courtyard. A good enough plan for me to use myself. That bloodline opal sounds valuable, and it's better off with me than sitting around in their vault. But I can't get lazy. Ember will have his personal guard, and doubtless a few other family tricks in store for anyone who comes after the opal.
I have to say, I much prefer the first two games style of Garrett talking over, images that are related to the mission and stuff, rather than just this text thing. I also don't know that I love pale purple text over darker purple fog, but whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of graphic design
Okay.
choices that are okay.
There just weren't different difficulty options on the tutorial. That makes sense.
I like that you can change it from mission to mission, though, it seems like. Possibly.
Opponent's sensory acuteness. Okay, so see, on expert, it's just don't kill any non-combatants. Whereas a lot of missions in the previous games, I believe, have don't kill anybody as a rule on expert. Because don't kill any non-combatants was a fairly common rule, even on the difficulty we were playing on.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put it on hard instead of expert here, just because steal at least 90% of the loot in this mission sounds like it maybe is going to be a little bit more tedious than difficult.
Yeah. I think with the earlier style of presentation for the mission briefings, they were fairly short and clipped. They had to be to keep the momentum going with the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
And here, they're a bit wordier.
8 flash bombs. They know what's up. I'm going to have to figure out a way to rebind stuff, though. I cannot be pressing I in the middle of combat.
F1, then I.
None of my hands are near I. Yep, and once again it does shut down the exeshecutable, and
There's
then
the torch. Now to give the signal.
Okay.
deeply bizarre. Hold on, I'm gonna tab out and reshare this to Amabel. What a wild way for this to work. I have an idea for how we can smooth this out for the next one.
Like as
Okay.
pitch out here.
They doubled the watch.
This castle's as old as South Quarter. See the way the stone is? Pulled off an army. Probably has.
You really think so?
And who knows? It's an old part of town. Street.
Who turned that off?
It's out.
Is this a joke?
I hope that cook is as good as his word.
Can you arrow the torch in his hand?
That's a really good and fun question. Hold on, it doesn't actually aim where I'm expecting it to aim. It looks like no. I'm pretty sure that third one would have done it.
False alarm, I guess.
You know what I can do though?
What?
Wow! Found you! Now stand and fight, ruffian!
Fight this guy with my dagger.
Come on! That got him running.
Yeah, you got me running, all right. Wow, Garrett, hit him, deal damage.
Uh-oh.
Okay, first of all, Garrett's melee range in this game is nothing. You have to be inside of your opponents to hit them with your weapon.
Yeah, well, the dagger for sure. Yeah.
You know what? A person wielding a dagger still has an arm. You can reach.
But it's not the same reach as a sword.
Well, okay, this is another good reason. He should definitely still be carrying a sword.
A magic zombie fighting sword.
A magic zombie fighting sword, sure. Or whatever. Frankly, I'm cool with whatever. Can I make
Like,
this?
why does he have
Hell
the
yeah.
sword?
At least I feel, oh boy, being able to see my whole body is weird. I do.
That's a mood. That's relatable.
Trans people in the audience will be familiar with this one. Does this go anywhere interesting? But yeah, I would love to know what happened to the sword. I feel like I could still. Oh, I can turn that off. Can I open this barrel? Not with a dagger, I can't. Wait, okay. The right click just drops stuff. Okay, I have to left click to throw. In the last game, right clicking again definitely hurled the object as far as Garrett could bother. All right, I'm just jumping around and sort of screwing around here. Let me Actually, I have kind of a lot of trouble getting off of this barrel. I seem to have gotten myself a little stuck.
Do you think you're falling again?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely like infinitely falling. I can't get to the ground because of the barrel. Amabel, help. Master Thief.
Think you just need to...
Just gonna...
I got a tip last night from my fence. Heartless Perry. A nobleman named Lord
Okay.
Julian
Oh,
had
no.
some sort of quarrel.
Abort. I didn't save before the thing, you know. It's wild that it lets you quit back to the menu in an unrecoverable way
That's...
without a dialogue box. We have some stuff to fix on the back end anyway, so I think actually we're going to just call the episode here because I need to first of all do some repairs on the video solution we're using, and secondly figure out how to use these fancy mods to rebind some shit. Because I know that you can. But it is interesting to note that there's no... Okay, so we have access to the inputs from the main menu, just not from in the game. That's sure is a decision. All right, let me... Where's the thing I want here? I wonder if it's even going to allow me to bind stuff to, like, my other mouse buttons. What is the use item button? I know how to pick which item I want, although they're definitely sort of bound all over the place. Lean left, zoom in, clear item, clear weapon. Is use item not on this? Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
It's
Hi.
way the fuck up there. So am I allowed to bind it to... No, it seems like it won't let me use like mouse 4. Okay, well that's a whole situation. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Look, we're going to get this sorted off camera.
Okay.
I'm going to call it here for right now. When you come back next time, we're going to be at the beginning of that mission, not stuck in a corner by a barrel, and also very fucking wary of getting stuck in corners by barrels. This is, you know, it's not that new of a problem. I think we all remember the toilet that Garrett got his legs stuck in the first Thief game. It's all just keeping things very, very faithful to the series. So when you come back next time, missions, success, less technical screwery, and we'll see you there.
Yeah.